Good morning. That's great advice, Herbie. Good advice. Outstanding. Herbie knows what he's talking about. Good morning, Higgs and Sammy P and Sir D and the Divine One, Cat Meowzilla. Good morning. I see you guys. Hobo Kelly glasses. I've got a pair of Hobo Kelly glasses. I can see right into Mark Z's living room. And wait a minute. Maybe that's Mark at work. I'm not sure. My glasses don't tell me the location, but I can definitely see. Okay? Morning, Mr. Phillips. Morning to you. Morning in America. Morning in America. Good morning. Classic. I see some Classic Blaster. How's the art going, Classic? Have you done anything creative lately? In that crazy studio of yours? Good morning, Nippy. Good morning, Donnie Fike. Good job, Classic. Way to make it happen. Good morning, four-leaf Lucky Clover. The Wazzy Wazerton. What's it like in Wisconsin? What's going on out there, Adam? September 4th. Okay, that's very random. That's very random, Adam, but thank you. September 4th, that's only like 2.5 months from now. No, it's a little less than 2 months. Good morning, Jesse. Have you robbed any trains lately, Jesse? Or was that just your relatives? What's going on, Jesse? If you rob a train, let us know. But don't hurt anybody. Good morning. I see Nerdy. Good morning, Nerdster. Good morning to you. It's all about the zoo. Can you tell me what to do in the zoo? Good morning. I can see you all with my Hobo Kelly glasses. Derek Anderson's out there slapping stuff. Don't slap a paranoid goat, whatever you do. It'll get a cherry eye. Or something wrong with its hoofs. Sue Littlemeyer's gonna be lurking. She's lurking live. She's lurking. Good morning. Good morning to all the lurkers as well. Sometimes I forget to mention the lurkers. Good morning, Lurky. Lucky the Lurky Lurker one. Pidgey Page, good morning. I see Paige out there. Good morning. Paranoid smashing stuff like he's a goat. Okay, I get it. Here we go. 40 people, 20 likes. In my mathematics, that's 50% of you have pushed the like button. 50% of you aren't sure. 50% of you aren't sure if you want to help the algorithm reach Croatia like we did yesterday. Did you hear that? We hit Croatia yesterday. What do you think about that, you Croatians? You know what? That's kind of a cool word to say. Croatian. Good morning, Kimberly the Golden Bolden. Right, Nippy? All the way to Croatia. Boom. Like that. The Croatians know. Czechoslovakia, actually. The Czech Republic, Czech. They are at the cutting edge of psychedelic assisted therapy of all of the European countries. Czech is on the cutting edge. Very, very proud of what's going on over there in, I guess it's the Czech Republic. Am I right? It's where some of the greatest philosophers and physicists in the history of mankind have come from that area. Yep, reading something recently. It was the hotbed of physicists right around the 1900, right around 1900. Nerdy Herbie, 7 days till the next, 7 days in a wake up till the next Mush Fest in Pueblo, near Pueblo, Colorado. Good morning. That's a good idea. That's a good habit, Sue. That's a good habit to have. Good morning. Good morning, Pueblo, Colorado. Okay? Oh, that's cool, Niffy. See? Croatia's all over it. Okay. Good morning. Who else is in here? Gypsy. Did I see a gypsy fly by and an Oreo somewhere in the room? Deborah, she's a pearl. We all know. Sam and I call it Pueblo. Okay, it's Pueblo. Anybody want an Oreo? Good morning. You guys aren't going to believe it. I didn't know until I had to send, when I had the opportunity to send Oreo something that they won. Oreo's a girl, you guys, just so you know. Oreo's a lady. A girl, a lady, a woman, a dame, a doll. Okay? But don't call her a dame, don't call her a doll. We don't do that anymore. Alright? I don't know if you're supposed to, is it okay to call a lady a girl? Is it okay to call a lady a girl? Huh? Or do we have to call them women? Which one? Girls. Is it okay? Adam. That's getting out of line. Dame is only if you're Humphrey Bogart. Okay? Doll is better than girl. Okay? Nippy, there are so many rules. That's what I was telling my sisters this weekend. I walk on eggshells. I don't want to be in trouble. Okay? I don't want no dames to get me in trouble. Okay, Pops, calm down. Lynette, I can't imagine you being called worse. No, you deserve better. Good morning. Pueblo, Colorado. There's going to be a bunch of people near Pueblo. Oh, what a lady. Good morning. I see Lynette. Good morning, Capybara Vlogger. Good morning, Capybara. That's an interesting animal, isn't it? A capybara. They just look like gigantic rodents. They look like, what was that movie with all the mice? Ben? What was the name of it? What was the name of that movie with all the mice? Yeah, we saw you, Cappy. Gypsy Life, good morning, doll. Gypsy, good morning, Gypsy. I didn't mean that. I take that back. I'm sorry about that. Oops, that was a mistake. Sorry about that one. Giant guinea pigs, that's it, Paige. That's what they look like. Punisher. Come to my house for chicken anytime you want. Good morning, Gyps. Oops. Okay, what's going on out there? What was the Willard? Was it Willard? Was that the name of the movie? Nippy just said it. Willard, I beat you to it. Willard. Cappy, tell your sister we said hi back. Good morning, Mushy. I see you, Mush. How's the cornhole? I'm talking about the game, not yours. I'm talking about the bean toss game, not yours. Okay? Nippy, shh. We're not talking about Mushmouth's cornhole. We're talking about the game. You know, the bean toss thing. Okay? Okay. Took second place on Tuesday. You must be really doing well with your situation. Good job. Okay? What is dry bagging, Herbie? I don't know what dry bagging is. Help me understand. I need to know. What is a dry bag? Is that like a new saying that Pops isn't aware of? Ben was a sequel to Willard. Okay. Wet beggars only. I'm so concerned. No, I don't get it. What's a dry? What's a wet? What's I'm creeping out here. Kathy, do you like MMC? What is it? UFC? MMA? Help me understand. I'm not sure what a wet bag. People begging in the chat, name a car, say this, it, that. So that's a wet bag or a dry bag? Which one is that? Wet bag or dry bag? When you're trying to get me to repeat something. Please, inform the elders. You'd say that's a dry. Yeah, you drop into a chat, immediately ask for something from the group, i.e. money or goods and services, when they have no connection. Got it. Got it. So that's a dry bag. Okay. What's a wet bag? If you are in the group, you've been around a while, which one's a wet bag? Or is there such a thing? No dry bagging, please. Okay? I'm learning too, Nippy. Okay, I'm learning too. I never heard dry bag before, but it kind of makes sense. Okay? Can you Google my... No, Capybara, that's a wet bag. That's called a wet bag, I think. You can email me a link if you feel like it. Okay? Email me if you feel like it. What wet bag means you're already in too deep. Means you can't even swim, right? Paige calls it ambush begging. That makes sense. Ambush begging. What is a request? Okay, what is it if it's a request? See, Santam, you and I are in the same boat. Never heard of a wet, dry. How about a lukewarm bag? Okay, is there a hot bag? A cold bag? Bag's a weird word. Beg. Put it in my bag, I beg you. Okay? Okay. I put it in a moist bag. Ew. Oh, God. Ew. That sounds terrible, Kim. Okay? I beg of you to stop it. Now, what was that? What kind was that? Was that wet or dry? Or moist? If I beg of you to stop, okay? When I beg of somebody to stop, what is that? That's a swamp bag. Okay. Oh, geez, see, what kind is it? The word moist is weird. I'm not a fan of the word moist. I don't know why. Okay? Nippy, what kind of begging am I doing when I say I beg of you to stop begging, no matter if it's wet, dry, moist, arid, desert-like, I don't care. Okay? Captain Obvious, you need to teach your dog some lessons. A hump beggar. What? So it wants a treat and it starts doing your knee? I'm confused. Okay? Capybara, will you please take my address, my email address, and if you feel like getting the information about you personally, send it to me there. Okay? And my email address is all one word, all lowercase, the Detroit Mush Lab, L-A-B, @gmail.com. Okay? That's the way you'll reach me. Okay? There you go. So you don't I don't Google people, typically, because there's 27,000 of you. People like, Pops, will you call me? I don't call people on the phone. Number one, I don't, just for security reasons, I typically don't let people have my personal phone number. You can always reach me on an email, and I'm extremely good about replying to my emails in general, which is like a blow-off. No, but I don't usually give out my phone number, and believe it or not, I can spend time here with everybody for, an hour and 15 minutes every day, but I get extremely busy. I have 2 or 3 other operations that I am involved in, both with my properties and the grow house and things like that. So for me to slow down during the day sometimes isn't as easy as some people may suspect. Okay? So it's never personal, but I sort of drew the line 2 or 3 years ago when I found myself midnight, my time, having conversations with people that were legit, but they would run long, and they would get into situations, and it was like, I want to treat everybody fairly and equally. Okay? Right, nerdy? It's very difficult, unless it's very, very important or it's business related from my end, where Pop stays off the couch until he crashes on it. That's right, Kim, but guess what? My sisters are trying to break me of my couch habit. Me too, Nif. Billy D, I won't respond for bail money. Last time Brock went to jail, I didn't bail him out. Okay, he never went to jail. I just made that one up. Okay, I just totally made that one up. But it's kind of like, if I won't bail Brock out, I'm not bailing you out. Okay?
I'm going to jail?
Pretty soon, but I'm not bailing you out.
Okay.
All right. Okay. My sisters made me sleep in a bed. Nippy, do you think I would? I probably would. You're right. Actually, if you're needing to be bailed out, maybe call Brock. Hey Brock, would you respond if somebody somebody called you to bail him out?
No, I'm in jail.
He's in jail. He can't respond. Sorry.
With you.
He's in jail.
With you.
Okay. No bail. He's in cell block D.
No,
if you're in C.
No, that's what I would do.
What?
No, I'm in there with you.
You're in there with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, call Pops.
And he doesn't answer.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Even if it's a group chat. Okay. Oh, hello, Dad. I'm in jail. If he called me Dad, I wouldn't respond. He has to say Pops. Okay. Kidding. Good morning, Snaps. Okay. Captain Obvious wants you to do an accomplice mission with her. Okay? So you guys be careful out there. Whatever the mission is, please be careful, because you don't have my phone number. Actually, I'm not even sure if Brock has my phone number.
I don't.
You don't, do you?
I don't. See?
Brock contacts me, I'm not even going to lie. Brock contacts me through the IG DM. And through IG. I was like, would you please stop that? Would you just text me like a normal person? And it was just over the weekend that he started texting me from a regular text number. For the last year, Brock IGs me. I was like, why do we have to IG each other? Okay? Oh. JC, me too. I was arrested. Do you guys want to hear a story? I might as well tell this one. This was back when I was in my late 20s. And I was running hard, running fast, playing the game. I was out there wheeling and dealing. And I think I might have told you guys this story once before. I think I told you guys this one. Mr. 420, you did not see me on cops because I was too fast to be caught. I might have told this story. Stop me if you've heard this one before. But I had at least a pound of mannitol, which is a white crystalline substance. It's actually a baby laxative, but it's a white crystalline substance that looks and seems very much like cocaine, but it was a high-grade cut. Now, for those of you that don't know what cut means, it means you start out with like maybe a 90% pure product, and you add 30 or 40% of another product, like mannitol. And yes, you've decreased the potency of your product, but you've increased the volume. And if you've got really good stuff to begin with, you can pull that one off. Okay? So now I've got, yep, that's what happened, Captain. So now I've got over a pound of this stuff under the seat of a truck that I was driving. And it was about a 3-day run. And I said I was wiped out. I forget exactly why, but I pulled over on a residential side street. Okay? And curled up on the front bench of seat of the truck and went to sleep. Midnight-ish. And I'm going to wake up real early in the morning, get back on the road, and finish my mission. I forget. Tap, tap, tap on the window of the truck with a flashlight. Who does that? Who taps on windows with flashlights? Give me one guess. Who does that? Derek's right. Cops. 2 of them. Guy and a girl. This was going to be mid-80s-ish. Okay? And I wake up and I'm like, oh, geez. But I also am thinking, I don't have anything in the truck that they can bust me for. So, in my mind, I'm not riding dirty. I wake up, they scuffle me out of the truck. They decide they're going to search the truck, even though maybe they didn't even have a legal right to, but who knows. They search the truck and they come up with a bag underneath, and they thought they had hit the jackpot. Oh my goodness, look at this. This guy's got a bag of it. Hook me up. And then they did this. Back in the day, they used to have a card with different sized circles on the card. And that was pupil sizes on this card. And the cop would held a card up next to my eyes. Now, mind you, I wasn't buzzed. I had just woke up. I wasn't under the influence in any way. And he holds up this thing, and it's got all these circles graduated from large to small. And he's looking at it, and he turns to his partner, and he said, he's at about a 2, not dilated pupils. He turns to his partner, the lady, and says, he's at about a 2. I hear the lady cop go, okay, I'm going to write down 7. They write down 7 in their report that my pupils are dilated to a 7, even though both of them knew that that wasn't true. So I'm like one of those guys that I've already been falsely accused. Okay? Complete lie, but it goes into the police report that I'm under the influence based off of dilated pupils. So off to jail they take me, and my pound of mannitol. Every single day for about a week, they'd come to my cell, take me out. Hey, Brock, would you let Ruff in?
Yeah.
He's out there scratching. Every day, thank you. Every day, they'd come to my cell and take me out and say, we know you're dealing because nobody has that big of a supply if they're not dealing. And I would every day tell them, would you please test the stuff? It's not coke. Well, what is it? I go, I really don't know what it is. I just know it's not Coke. Well, that's not good enough. Hours of interrogation. But it was like daily for at least a week. Okay? This went on until I get a public defender. I was in jail 18 days from the tap on my window. 18 days till my public defender demanded a test on the evidence, and it came back that it wasn't cocaine, and all that they could possibly think of is maybe he was under the influence, but they hadn't done a blood test or anything like that. So they kicked me loose after 18 days of being in jail for a bag of baby laxative. The story ends like this. I'm barely back to my location, and Uncle David, who's the Colombian big shot in our neighborhood area, he's at my door, knocking on the door. Cristobal! They always call me Cristobal. Cristobal! We need to talk. He takes me in. I invite him in, whatever. And he wants to know, because he's been scared these whole 18 days that I might crack and give away a bunch of information, inside information about the organization. And I didn't. Snitches get stitches. So he brings me, he reaches into he's always dressed really nice. He reaches into his jacket and he pulls out an ounce of the purest, gives it to me, and he goes, this is your reward for spending 18 days and not cracking or not saying anything. And it actually moved me up a little bit in the organization. Stupid. But you're pretty stupid for bringing it in your truck. No more marijuana in your truck. So I scored. Basically, I got a free ounce for an 18-day staycation. Yep. That's the story. That's all there is to it. So, mannitol, don't fall asleep with the cut in the truck. That was my lesson. The food, it was terrible. Big old chunks of bologna on 2 pieces of white bread. That's actually not true there, because then I could tell you, there was, I'm not going to tell you the story today, but I got in a very, so when you're, I'm just going to say it, I'm a white guy, and the majority of the people that were in that particular area in jail were black guys. And very early on, maybe my second or third day there in the cafeteria, I had to stand up for myself. Yeah, I have a story about that. I had to stand up for myself. I had to prove that I was crazy. And once I proved I was crazy, they were like, "What was crazy, man? You gotta leave the white boy alone." And then there was chess always being played in the cell block, and I was pretty good at chess, so I'm always at the end of the cell block playing chess, and they started calling me the professor. So for the next 14 days, I was the crazy professor. Okay? I'll tell you the story someday about why I got called crazy. But you have to bow up sometimes. You have to get physical if you don't want to get physical. Okay? Yeah, they called me the professor. And you know what? I made friends. Like, I had a couple of connections came out of the situation. Pops! Oh, professors don't do this stuff for nothing, you know. Okay? Professor Iron Balls, you're stupid. But yeah, something like that. Mm. There you go, Captain. You gotta get physical. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. It was, no, they didn't add extra time, Mark, because I was actually the quote unquote innocent party. Um, it was a pretty big brawl, though. Yeah, Pops brawled it out. All right, I'll tell part of the story. So I'm sitting, you go down the cafeteria line and they give you this fiberglass food tray with sections. Plop, you get your potatoes, plop, you get your, I don't know, whatever the food was. And at the end of the line, there's a big trash can, clean, new trash can, and it's filled with single wrapped donuts. Like a single donut with, it's wrapped in cellophane. So, and they give you, that's going to be your big dessert. So, up till this time, I knew not to mad dog anybody. I didn't make eye contact with a single person. I'm always keeping my head down, keeping it short, not getting involved in anything. It's about my third day. So you go and you sit down at the cafeteria table, and they're single file, they just line you up and sit you down in a line. The other guy's line comes and they all sit down, and straight across from me was a guy. Okay? Thank you, Freddie. Straight across from me is a guy. Big. Twice my size. But he forgot that he didn't know I was a Marine. Twice my size. And he reaches over and he takes the donut that's on my tray and he puts it next to his donut and he just keeps on eating. He doesn't say anything, but he takes my donut. Well, this is all going on. I'm taking a lot longer to tell you the story. Okay? Within about 2 to 3 seconds, it's processing. It's like, I can't let this happen because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. And if somebody takes something now, they're going to take more later. Whatever it is. This is all like going through my mind. And I'm afraid. Like, I'm afraid when I'm in there. From the minute I walked into the place, I'm experiencing some fear. He reaches over, he grabs my donut. It took me about a few seconds, and I keep my head down. I'm not making eye contact. Do you guys want to hear the rest of the story? Give me 5 people that want to hear the rest of the story. At this point right now, Pops' donut is stolen, and he's not making eye contact. Okay? Won't make eye contact. And he's got a decision to make here. Do I bail out and just leave, forget the donut, it's not that important? Or I look up and I look at him, I go, yo. Like I'm cool now, because I can say yo, right? Yo. I'll never forget this as long as I live. I still have it in my brain. Okay, yo. That's my donut. The guy ignores me. He's just eating. I'm like, screw you, dude. Keeps eating it on second time. Yo. Now I'm louder. Now my yo is like, yo. Oh, I'm scary. Yo. That's my donut. Eat, ignore. I didn't give him a third yo. Grab the tray. One hand on each side of my tray. All the food on it, I didn't care. Boom. Dove across the table. Boom! Smashed into his face. Now I'm over the top of the table, like dove onto, beating on his face with this tray. Nobody. Now I'm screaming. Now I'm a madman. Nobody F's with my donut. I must have said that 10 times. Nobody F's with my donut. And crowd of guys around. And Eventually, the guards come and break it up, pull me off. Dude is down. Dude is wiped out. Dude gets taken off to the prison hospital, and I think the cops thought it was kind of cool, or the guards must have thought it was kind of cool, because they were just like, okay, everybody back in line, like it never happened. Next thing you know, they're shuffling us out of the cafeteria, and from then on, this is a true story, from then on, everybody was like, don't mess with white boy. He crazy, okay? Don't mess with him, because he's crazy. So, from there, all of a sudden I could look people in the eye. True story. I was so scared, but I really didn't have a big choice, but I did have a weapon, okay? And I felt like, it was a glazed donut, right? And let's just picture it. If he'd have taken my glazed donut from me, I probably would have had my donut glazed later. Okay. That's the end of the story, okay? Yeah, you gotta get crazy sometimes just to look out for yourself. Like, I was a kid, wild man. I shouldn't have even been in there in the first place. Freddie, that was way too much information for you. Okay, white boy was crazy. So, it was very extreme. I had to, hey, he didn't give me my donut back, so I had to go get it. I have one more jail story, but I'm going to save that one for later. Okay? 18 days is the most time that I've spent in jail at one time. That 18 days. And I walked out of there, crazy professor with no charges. Okay? Whoa, Pops, why'd you end up telling that story? Now you're Mr. Kindness? Yeah, when you stop dealing and you start dealing with stuff, you're in a better place. Okay? But I actually I'm liking it now when I can tell the story, because I can pretend I was a rough and tough. Okay? But I was on the crazy side back in the days. And you're just scared to death, John, while you're in there. Just scared to death pretty much the whole time, but you can't let anybody know. You can't let anybody know. So give me 5 people that think that was a crazy story. Give me 5 people that are, Pops, that was a pretty crazy story. Crazy, I tell you. Yep. Pops has a past. Oh my goodness. The things that we did. Crazy, I tell you. I have another one or two of those. One more jail one. I'll tell you that one some other time. That was a holding cell situation. Where I got arrested. I forget what it was for. It was another. I've actually never been convicted, except a ticket or two. Yeah, but I have ended up in there a couple of times, and been like there. I mean, if you really look at the things that I did, I should have gotten a 25-year sentence somewhere along the line. So thank goodness I didn't. Otherwise I'd have like jail tattoos and stuff. To this day, I still don't have a tattoo. So crazy didn't get a tattoo. All right, I should have got a tattoo of a donut. Am I right? I should have got a tattoo of like a jail donut. Okay, Sammy, I did have to stand up for myself twice in those situations. And I was a bit of a fighter anyways, back in the day. I was, I was aggressive. I was an aggressive guy. That's funny, Lynette. Yeah, Justin, I don't. I have never been, me personally, that's all. I get tattoos and there's some really cool ones. So I don't have anything against them. I just don't want one on me. I still haven't found one that I would like, okay, that's going to be the one. If anything, maybe you could tattoo my lab coat on me. And then I don't have to worry about it every day. I could just like come sit in front of you guys. Okay? Okay. Silly, Pops, you're silly. Can you and see, now I'm ruining my reputation. Here I am telling you guys all this crazy Pops stuff. Pops isn't crazy like that anymore. Well, you guys remember about 3 years ago I chased a guy with a fishing pole. Like, remember that? The guy was like beating up his girlfriend on the side of the road. So I had pulled over, like, the only thing I had in my car, like as a defensive weapon, potentially. The guy was big. It was like, Pops goes to war, but he brings weapons. I had to grab my fishing pole, and I chased the guy up and over a fence with my fishing pole. Okay? Who does that? But we saved the girl. She was getting hit on. Like, hit by this guy. And I could see it, and all these cars are driving by just like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, no, you can't be like beating up a girl on the side of the road. Nobody says or does anything about it. Pull over. I'm like, leave her alone. And he's like, screw you. He's like, says something like, and then he acts like he's going to come after me. And I was like, oh. Reached into the back. I always have a fishing pole in the car. Pulled the fishing pole out and I charged. Usually when you take the offensive in these situations, you're gonna, you have an advantage. Usually. If you take the offensive. Because they're not, like, they're used to being able to scare people. And it's like, you don't scare me, dude. Or my fishing pole. But then that one wasn't because I was crazy. That one was because I was trying to take care of somebody. Yeah. Mark's yet to be indicted. Okay, that's a good one. You're doing good, Mark. You're doing good. Can you tell us the story of how you became an advocate for plant medicine? I'm going to tell you guys the story tomorrow. Okay? And now I don't know. I am still a preacher of goodness and kindness on the planet. I'm still, and I'm going off the deep end here with some crazy stories. But the reality is, I'm a changed man in many, many areas of my life. But that doesn't mean that we don't need to defend ourselves when needed and be willing to help and defend other people when needed. Okay? I'm going to tell you guys a story tomorrow. We're a little out of time already because Pops is such a talker. But it's going to be this story. Okay? I like that, HB. Okay? Jesse, I think you're a bot. I think you're a bot. Captain, I'm glad that I calmed down. That was actually that last incident. I was 28, 29 years old. That was the last time I had the pleasure of going to the Gray Bar Motel. That was the last time I'd been in the Gray Bar. So since then, what are we talking, 40 years now? 39, 40 years since Pop has visited the Gray Bar Motel. Okay. I like telling stories, though. I'm a storyteller. Can you tell the story of how you became an advocate for plant medicine? This is being spoken. There is a woman by the name of Heather Jackson. She has a POV called Psychonaut. Okay? I'm going to read just the beginning part of this and we'll pick up the rest of it tomorrow. This is a fantastic story. And I was able to share this with my sisters this weekend because they're like really coming around to, like, there was judgment originally 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm like, I'm doing this mushroom thing, and they're like, but isn't that illegal? Isn't that bad? Aren't you worried? Like, they're coming from a very conservative point of view, extremely conservative, and I'm like, always on the edge of being, in the gray area. But in this situation, it wasn't because I wanted to be a wild man, but because I wanted to learn myself, patience, and change who I was, which the shrooms were helping me do. And when I started experiencing it personally, I'm like so excited about this that I want to share it with as many people and as much as I could. It's how we started tea with Pops. And for a while there, we even had a growing academy, a lab space where we would bring people in and teach them how to grow. That got iffy after there's so many legalities with that, and you're really opening yourself up to a lot of risk when you bring people in that you don't know legitimately, but you believe are good people, and then one or two of them aren't. And then one or two of those rotten apples can ruin the whole idea. And that's actually really what happened. But they're like, so why do you do it? And had great conversations, and I got amazing feedback from them because they literally are saying you're different. You look different, you act different, we like this version, etc., etc. I've always been a good guy with them, but when you see somebody evolving, and sometimes it's really obvious, it's a beautiful thing. Give me 5 people that agree with that. When you see somebody evolving, and it's in a really positive way, doesn't that make you feel great? Isn't that a neat thing to see? Not only be, but to see. And we see it with a lot of people here. Some of us, man, when we first started up here, I don't know, and we're just turning and changing and becoming different people. And there's big questions as to why, right? It started with my son, Zachy, who has a rare, catastrophic form of early childhood epilepsy. Right, Niffy? His seizures started at 4 months old, and they quickly escalated to hundreds of seizures per day. Can you imagine a parent having a child, baby, that's having hundreds of seizures a day? By age 9, he was in hospice care. Age 9, and little guy's already in hospice. Emergency meds are nice band-aids, but when you use them over and over, they stop working. We tried 17 pharmaceuticals, special diets, and every alternative therapy available. Though through Colorado's hospice program, our counselor, Mrs. Kate, told us about another girl that was similar to Zachy. She said, I would not forgive myself if I don't tell you what's going on with her. She's using cannabis. This was in 2012. It was all very hush-hush, though Colorado's medical marijuana program. The first time I gave him CBD, his normal full-body electrocution type seizures that happened every 2 to 10 minutes just didn't start. Within 4 months, a child who'd had 500,000 seizures by age 5 had complete seizure remission. The other little girl was Charlotte Fidgey. Charlotte's Web was named after her. And Zacca was the second success story. I became very passionate about cannabis, and I started Realm of Caring in 2013 for research, education, advocacy, and a free call center. We helped 22 states pass cannabis legislation in just 2 years. My son enjoyed 1,420 days of seizure freedom. But when puberty hit, Zacky's seizures returned. It was like the dark night of the soul. I started having neurological symptoms, loss of strength in my hands, trouble finding words, saying the opposite things of what I wanted to say. After going down the same broken medical path that didn't serve my son, I researched natural solutions, and psilocybin came up. I had curated a psilocybin experience that changed everything, including my relationship with my son and how I viewed what he was experiencing. It allowed me to continue thriving instead of floundering. That led to founding Unlimited Sciences in December 2018 to do for psychedelics what we'd done with cannabis. This lady had all the experience of helping cannabis be legalized for the purposes of helping people that needed it. And now she switched over and said, you know what, I found psilocybin and I had that experience, and we applied it to psilocybin. What key lessons from building Realm of Caring did you apply when you were founding Unlimited Sciences? The interview asks. The biggest lesson, this is it. This was the key right here. This sentence I'm going to read to you right now is the key. And I read this article to my sisters. I said, this is what's really going on out there. We don't do this because we're like inviting people to get tricked out and let's party and let's go have mush fits. It's not that at all, sisters. This is a wellness, a healthcare advocacy situation. The biggest lesson, this is the lady's words. Are you ready? The biggest lesson is that this is not an industry, it's a cause. This is not an industry. This is a cause. With Unlimited Sciences, I knew we needed research immediately. We started using cannabis in 2012, but we didn't begin our research with Johns Hopkins until 2016. Hip Kitty, isn't that beautiful? I wear that on my sleeve now. This is not an industry. This is my cause. This is my purpose. I told myself 4 years ago, this is the magic carpet ride that I will be on till the day I die. I'm never getting off this magic carpet, and I'm just going to zip around and do everything I can possibly do to forward the cause. Another key lesson was bringing doctors on early. With Realm of Caring, we had over 500 very medically fragile children show up at a Colorado Children's Hospital without even giving doctors a heads up. They were overwhelmed. Some even fired patients saying, I won't see anybody that's using cannabis. This was her first group. I learned that you have to play nicely in the sandbox. I have this personality where I have a goal, and if you're in my way, you're collateral damage. But that doesn't work because doctors are actually members of the team. The doctor in all their incarnations, listen, we do a lot of finger pointing. Oh, the damn doctors, the damn this. Doctors, this is her, and she's right. Doctors in all their incarnations are fundamentally motivated by a desire to help others. I'm going to agree with that. I know there's money, I know there's prestige, I know there's other things, but they're fundamentally motivated by a desire to help. If we approach them knowing that and give them that respect and give them that due, do you think we're going to have a better partner to work with? I do. I'm fundamentally motivated by a desire to help others, and I have been since I got out of a rehab years and years ago, helping people through alcoholism, through addiction, and now I'm using a different form to do it. Some doctors may just not have the tools, so you need to include them in the research, and you need to educate them. We started educational seminars, and most of the attendees were doctors wanting to learn about the mechanisms of action, drug interactions, and dosing. We'll pick up the rest of this story tomorrow. I'll finish this article with you guys tomorrow. Is this a good article so far? Heck yeah. This lady began out with a child. 500,000 seizures by the time baby is 5. Is she desperate for an answer? And she certainly was, and she certainly did her share of work. We're going to learn more about her and some of the rewards and benefits of what she found out through her psilocybin research and what her group's doing with that. Plant medicine. Okay? So, give me 5 people that want to hear the rest of the article tomorrow. Gives us something to look forward to. This is way different than a prison story. Right? We've come a long ways. We've come a long, long way. It's a great article, and I'm going to tell you guys something. I've reached out to her. I'm waiting, and just yesterday wrote her a small letter, and I know I'll hear back from her, and we're going to see, dovetail in, what can I do to learn and experience things that you have to teach me, and how can I use those things to help other people? Because it's my cause too, ma'am. So I'm excited about that. Very quickly, while we're on the subject, in yesterday's Tricycle Day newsletter, there's an article. What is it? The University of Colorado, is it? I think the University of Colorado. I forget who it is. I have to look it up. I'll have the information tomorrow. But there's an article, and yeah, I'll have to look it up tomorrow. I'll have to have it ready. You fill out an application online that they have. Online. I'll show it to you tomorrow. And you fill out this application, and you can be involved in a trial program with this organization. If you fill out this application and they think that you're somebody that qualifies, they pay you to be involved in the program. So you're going to be involved in a psilocybin-assisted therapy, taking doses and reporting, and you'll have to be available to take some Zoom interviews and write some of your experiences. But it's like a 6 to 8 week program And I thought the most exciting thing about it was, number one, to be involved and to give this data and to give this feedback if you have the time and the wherewithal. And at the same time, you can see yourself get paid for it, and it wasn't small dollars. I'll have the details tomorrow. But it's exciting, and there may be, it may be something a few of you here would be interested in. As I was reading it, I'm like, this is really interesting, and I know some people would be available to do this. Okay? So I will give you that information more specific tomorrow. Kim, I agree with you. It's a win-win, and it's a legit study trial program, and you gotta be like, how fantastic is that? Let's do gratitude for like 3 or 4 minutes. Let's practice some gratitude right now. Let's discuss gratitude just a little bit. First of all, let's be grateful that Pop's got his donut back. Sorry about that one. Okay, here we go. There are about as many definitions of gratitude as there are, good morning, Matthew, as there are researchers, poets, and writers who examine the emotion in their work. Many of the existing research definitions don't resonate with the way people describe their experiences of gratitude to me in interviews or in writing. Here's what emerged from our work. You ready? Gratitude is an emotion that reflects our deep appreciation for what we value, what brings meaning to our lives, and what makes us feel connected to ourselves and others. While gratitude is an emotion, if we want to experience its full power, we must also make it a practice. It's not just an emotion. It's something we can practice. Over the past 2 decades, the research has taught me, despite the catchy phrase and attitude of gratitude, gratitude is a practice. It's tangible. It's an attitude in a way of thinking. Since practice means doing, trying, failing, and trying again. Nobody perfects practice. We're willing to try and to fail and to try again. Lastly, I want to share something that recently popped up on social media. I posted something about the importance of gratitude, and someone left a comment that said they thought gratitude might be overrated as a cure for depression, trauma, and anxiety. What I would say is that gratitude is not a cure for anything. And we need to be wary of any single practice or approach that's sold as a fixing or curing complex mental health issues. Gratitude isn't a cure. Gratitude is a practice that can enrich our lives in meaningful ways. In the world of mental health and social emotional learning, the term cure sounds like snake oil to me. When we hear the word cure, I'm thinking we ought to be awfully careful. If we hear the word practice, that's somewhere I love to go. But when we hear the word cure, approach with caution. Because are there cures? Or are there practices? 4 things. Let's be impeccable with our word. You won't end up in situations that Pop ended up in his past. I don't end up in those crazy situations anymore because I do practice being impeccable. Am I perfect at it? No. Practice means I try, I'll fail, but I keep trying. These are things we practice. These 4 things. We don't get them right all the time. But I'm practicing, and I've been practicing them solidly for longer than I've ever practiced any single 4 things before. And I see a big difference. Don's right, the practice could be the cure, right? Don't be impeccable. Don't take things personally. And that isn't just things people say, that's things that happen on the planet. It's not personal. Planet stuff happens. Don't have expectations. Expectation, you literally planted a resentment. And the more expectations you have, the more fertilizer you're putting on that resentment. And 4th, the big practice, do your best. Do your best today. If you just practice today, yesterday's gone, you can't change it. Tomorrow's yet to come. Practice today. Those 4 things. Are they going to be a cure? No. Will they change your life? Give me 5 people that would say yes. Give me 5 practicers that aren't cured yet, but you're better. Nerdy's 1. Nippy's 1. HB and Michael. The expectations equal suffering. I agree, Sean T. Lynette and Kim and Freddie and Matthew and Laura. Don't you feel good when you leave the gym? You got the little burn on. You're like, you did your deal for the day. Now you can go out and have a wonderful day. Same thing here. But we don't stop during the day. We continue to practice the 4 agreements that lead to kindness. Let me scroll you practicers out of here. We're not looking for a cure. And that's weird. But I want to be cured. If I was cured, what would I do next? I like practicing. I like getting better. Not, I'm done. I like that one. I don't want to be done. I just want to get better. Don Fike and Nippy and Gyps. Good morning, Gypsy. I love it when I see you here. Nippy and Cleany and Mike Butterball and Choops. There's my Choopy. And Gavin, you can definitely ask a question, Gavin. I have a couple seconds left. Nippy and Aaron and Matthew and Captain. And Michael Sean T. Patterson, Freddie the Hinky Hinkleston. And Billy D and HB. And Nerdy, love ya. Lynette, love ya. B. Hendricks, practicing daily. Matthew, need the bad times to appreciate the good times. Nippy, we're never done. Never. This isn't something that you just put in the oven and you're done in an hour. No. Matthew and Nippy and Matthew and Freddie and Herbie and Sue and Cleany and Joe D's and Billy D and Donnie Pike. Justin White and Kimberly, you have a fantastic day. Mike Baraball and Jolie, good morning, Jolie. Glassic blasting them. Billy D and Nippy, great day at the gym. Mike Baraball, 5280 all day. Cat Meowzilla. B. Hendricks, Mr. Phillips, thank you. Santa, Michael Patterson, Herbie, Aaron, Sue Littlemeyer. The gentleman that asked, could he ask a question? Send your question over to my email. It's all one word, all lowercase. The Detroit mushlab.com. No, at gmail.com. Send your question over there and we'll do our best to answer it. Pops, peace. You guys go practice. I'm going to go practice. Out.